So, hi everyone. Today I will change my configuration to use the new neovim treesitter version, which is on the main. Yeah, let's do this. And afterwards, I will look if I can look. I want to look into the OmniSharp. This is an LSP for dotnet, and it's open source. And I wanted to look into make it work with build server protocol, the software that I wrote, and a couple of other streams. And yeah, let's see how far we get today. So first of all, let's actually, oops, go here and search for treesitter. Right. Now I want to switch here to branch main. The same. I think we need to do the same also here. And oops. Got confused here. Like this. Let's actually look at what we need to do. I think there is a documentation how to move to the new version. So you can install treesitter like this. So basically we need also the build and lazy to false. Like lazy to false and build having ts update. And main we already selected. Let's look at this extension here. I think we need also to adjust for that. And we oops. This was not it. Again. Inventory setter text objects, right? Visitor and the nutrition are experimental features of nightly version of neovim. Please consider experience. Treesitter support in neovim is stable. We recommend using nightly build of neovim or at least stable version. That's okay. I think they have to match. I'm not sure. But yeah, let's try this like this. First, and then I think we will start another shell here so that we can try this out in one instance without closing the other, because if it breaks, then I cannot use neovim to fix it, right? I would need to use another editor. At least a couple of plugins will not function then. So we will play safe here. Okay, then we do a lazy. Here. Do it like this. Quite some changes. Okay. Let's this also. We keep the rest, I would say, for now. Be fine there. Okay. Then reopen. So yeah, that's what I mean. Treesitter config. This will not work anymore. Guess this ensure installed. I think it's not available there. There are a couple of things that they rewrote. Let me see if we can find the breaking changes. Tab. Let's see if we can find the migration path here. Okay. Migration. Chandra Mauli. Hi. How are you? Yeah, I'm fine too. Thank you. So, what's up on your side? Let's see. We don't have wiki here. Maybe we have discussions. Now this was the thing I was looking for. Subscribe here. Mm. Mm. The text subject to replace. Yes, you have to use the main branch, that plugin, which is work in progress. So seems moving. Main involves more than just looking in main readme. Looking for things auto install, auto enable. Here, this is what I'm using. Okay, let's get this one. I would love a guide as well. I have a pretty basic config, but things are breaking left and right. And reading readme does not help on how to migrate. Migrating can include auto install and text objects. Okay. Posting my config for auto install and enabling highlighting automatically. Develop method used. Okay. Did the treesitter get a breaking change? Yes, it gets a breaking change. They stopped developing on the master branch, but not treesitter, but and neovim treesitter. So the basically the Lua library which used treesitter and like does integrated in neovim. They rewrote it. So the new version is on the main branch, not on the master branch anymore. Hi, Sherich. What's up? Yeah, and I switched on another PC, but it was a long time ago. I don't remember exactly all the steps. So I will try to do it from scratch here. Yeah, and there are a couple of interesting features which are quite nice. You have in the command line of neovim, you have also highlighting, syntax highlighting. I was just going to sleep. I just saw your video, live video, and then came here to check to see what's new is happening. Oh, I knew about the main branch change. Yeah, okay. So that's then nothing new to you, I guess. You're streaming on some other platforms? Yeah, I'm streaming on YouTube also. If you're interested, there are links in my Twitch profile. And also on YouTube, I have all the links to Twitch and so back and forth. So if you like one platform more than the other, you can do however you like. Guess I read some other chat. Yeah. Yes. I stream on two of them. So like the biggest one. Didn't explore the other ones, but I think these two are interesting. Yeah. You will see how we can fix those issues now. Yeah, and I enabled this experimental feature here in the previous stream. Let me show you here. XUI, this one. Let me just make it a little bit small so we see here the documentation. Basically, like there are maybe more features, but the most interesting feature for me is actually you have if you type messages, it opens up a buffer, so you can really navigate in there and do the whole stuff that you're used to know. It is experimental, so if you use it, don't blame the developer, so don't blame me if something goes wrong, but it works pretty well so far, and is helpful because then you can copy stuff here, right, and do all that stuff that you used to know in buffers. Can you show your Twitch chat like other YouTubers, for example? Yes, I tried that actually, but it seems that it does not work currently. Let me see if I can fix this a little quick. Yeah, I tried to set it up today, but it seems it somehow does not work. Wait, maybe I have to move it up. No, it's already on the top. I tried to set up the chat from Twitch so that it's available on the on my streaming output, so to say. But it actually does not work as I wanted to. And I actually don't know why, because I use Stream Elements, or I tried to use with Stream Elements. And I see it actually on the website that the chat is displaying. But it seems somehow still not propagate. So maybe I have to move it like to the top. Let's try this. Now you see something? It was visible. Shot. Your system's visual is so minimal. Yeah, okay. You see something, but you don't see really chat, right? Yeah, I don't want it actually to oops, to have it like all over my screen. I like the minimal approach, but yeah, there are some things that I think are just necessary, and chat is one of those, I guess. Let's switch maybe opacity. No, it does not change anything here. I want to know your opinion, or I can... Oh, now! Just top bar with 2 elements, workspace indicator in daytime. Ah, you mean this one? Yes. It works! Nice. So Chadra, do you see this also? Is it working? Yes, I want to know your opinion, or I can say information about the new Vim LSP in 0.11 update, because as it came, I was like, let's get rid of Mason and Vim LSP config, but after setting up the native, because as it came, I was like, let's get rid of Mason and Vim LSP config, but after setting up the native. You will not get rid of nvim lsp config with the 0.12 update. Or yeah, yes, it came with the 11 update. You're right. So you will not get rid of that because they just changed how the configuration is provided. Now it's provided in an inside an LSP folder, and barely provided any autocomplete and other things. You have to configure it properly. Let me just finish this one. I'm interested, and then I if I get nvim treesitter working so far, then we can have a look at how I enabled it. Yeah, and nvim lsp config provides still the basic default configuration for the LSP service that you need. So nice. Yeah, then now it works at least. This part. Let me... Yeah, that should work then. So, we are here. And let's... As the initial step, we will comment this out completely for now. Right? So now we should be able to do a restart, which is pretty handy command if you didn't know that. It does the same as if you would quit neovim and start it again. That's basically what it does. Restart. And yeah. Now you see nothing, right? Don't really see this. Let me see what we need to set up for the basic functionality for treesitter. This one, fine. So enum treesitter can be configured by calling setup. The following snippet lists the available options and their default values. You do not need to call setup for enum treesitter to work using default values. Okay, good to know. Parsers and queries can then be installed via this. This is a no-op if the parsers are already installed. Note that this function runs asynchronously for synchronous installation. In a script context, bootstrapping, you need to wait for it to finish. Okay, but that's fine for us for now, I would say. So we can use this. Right. Here in config. Right. Just do this. Let me just look up. I forgot in which property. Oh, that's actually, is it fine? Yeah, config function. Blah, blah, blah. Yep, that's fine. Should be fine. Doesn't. Why does this not work here? Miss symbol. What? I don't get it. But I don't see YouTube chat. Yeah, I need to figure this out because I read somewhere that this can be against Twitch rules. And I saw it on some other bigger streamers also to do this, that you have like both chats displayed. But yeah, I need just to read it up so that they don't block me this because of that. So yeah. What I'm doing wrong here. Something simple, I'm sure. Install stuff. Yeah, the whole stuff is more complicated with streaming than I thought initially. Like the whole, what are you allowed to do, what not, and yeah. So this should be, does this say line with spaces only? Oh, didn't knew that. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. It was just hanging somewhere. So okay, yeah, fine for me. Can I actually? Okay, it does not format. Let me get rid of this part and add my servers that I want to have there. So like this. And up. Right, then remove this part. Like this. Oops. So now should be able here to restart. You see? Oh, you don't see actually. You don't see because my keyboard is in the way. But on the right side, if you enable this experimental UI feature, you get also messages directly from neovim. All what would go to messages. This part is also shown on the right side at the bottom. I don't think the Mason is really a valuable thing to have in besides nvim comp link and nvim lsp config. Mason is still relevant, at least for me. I mean, it depends how your workflow is and how kind of a type you are. But for me, Mason is valuable because of being able to define language servers, formatters, and other stuff that you kind of need for your setup or want in your setup in a declarative way. So, and if you're moving your neovim configuration from one PC to another, you can just easily kind of bootstrap your setup. That's why I think, for me at least, it makes sense to have it also. Because I'm not a fan of installing all the language servers and formatters via your operating system package manager, it feels like it's harder to take your config with you. If you kind of switch from Fedora to Ubuntu to maybe another distribution, I just don't want to mess with my neovim configuration just to get my basic setup up and running. There I see still value in Mason, and therefore I use it also. So let's maybe update Stylua, YAML language server, and ceiling D. The others I don't care about for now. So, restart. Let's actually do something here. Maybe we go to .NET BSP repository. Let's open up some YAML file. Do a search. Now you see at the bottom, it highlights stuff. So when you search for branch, then replace it with something else. Like if you would have yeah, it actually doesn't look too nice currently. But I had a different color scheme and it looked much better on the other PC. No, I'm just showing off that it has highlights now in the command part of neovim. Because I think that's kind of cool that it's now possible. And it's possible with this new treesitter version. So we have this now set up, right? Then fine, support languages, features. So I have to enable it for some file types. Wait, is it not enabled per default? Yeah, it's also a valid point, but the way neovim is handling towards the setup of native LSP, formatters, linters, and debuggers is very new version. And 0.11 plus update is more of a new foundation. Yes, due to introduction of a new way to set up language servers. Yeah, I think now it's just easier to set up language servers, and hopefully the rest also in future. And I also kind of waiting for the treesitter WASM feature, which enables you to get all the treesitter parsers via WebAssemblies. I think it would also ease the installation process of these parsers, because when I installed them before, you see that initially it compiles all of them locally, so you would not need that step then. And because some of them are written in different languages, you kind of need a different SDKs for different languages to build them locally. Okay, we have here advanced setup, indentation. Let me just see here. Okay, so I have to enable treesitter for the file types. So I will need this part here, definitely, because you saw here it's not highlighted properly for C#. So then we will do this and do this. I think it should work. It should go above the end here. Right. So then the file types are CS at that point. Lua, but I think Lua is not needed. Maybe it's on the default already. Right. So what do we need else? Like JSON. YAML, right? Terraform. Perl. Do we need else? GD script. GD shaders. Vim doc. I'm not sure which ending Vim docs have. Or file type. Is it Vim doc? Yeah, Vim doc file type. Is it the thing? Is it called the same? Yeah, I'm not sure. But we should be able to compare. Here we don't have too much of highlighting, right? So if we restart and see here. It doesn't look better, I guess. The problem is that the default color scheme is not that rich on colors. Okay. Is the rainbow option in treesitter performance heavy or just a random feature? Rainbow option. I'm not aware of this one. I'm also not too deep into treesitter, so don't expect me to know anything about that. There's rainbow feature. Too many E's there. Rainbow feature in treesitter refers to implementation of rainbow parentheses or rainbow delimiters, which use treesitter ability to parse code abstract syntax tree to apply alternative colors to nested delimiters. Is it a thing? Do you use this? Like the rainbow parentheses? I'm actually not sure if this is heavy on performance. Don't know, to be honest. So, yeah, we have the basic setup here now. Go to the program CS here. So it looks better now, I guess, right? It was causing lags, but I wasn't able to understand how it works. Do you are on the main branch or on the master branch from NVim treesitter? I think they did also something performance-wise there. So the main branch should be faster, if I remember correctly. Okay. What do we have else here? Set up text objects. Define your own text object mapping similar to IP in a paragraph and AP a paragraph. This is the configuration automatically jump forwards to text object similar to targets vim. You can choose the select mode. Default is charwise B. Can also be a function which gets past the table with the keys. Look ahead. So I'm not sure about this. I will skip this. But I will copy this part. Text object swap. I don't need this one. Text object move. Define your own mappings to jump to the next or previous text objects. Actually, what do we have here? You can use capture groups defined in text objects. Is this also? Okay, we need to combine this. I need this part also. Inner function, outer function, outer class, inner class. You can also use captures from other query groups like locals. Okay, we don't need this part. Just copy this. So then we have here config, right? Function. This. Oops. So inside function does not work because we didn't set up it yet. So let's move this away here. But I will not use inside function, I would use inside method. And outer method. Okay, this is the first thing here. What do we need else? Parameter. No. Set jumps. Whether to set jumps in the jump list. Is it default? Okay, let's do this definitely. Oops. I still use the master branch for more stability and backward compatibility capabilities, although I'm on the last 0.11.4 and I have disabled it. Okay. So you could try. I mean, you can save your config and just try, or you can create a new config and just when you start neovim pass new config directory. I think there is it's possible now to kind of start neovim and point it to another configuration, so you can just test it out. And yeah, maybe it's behaving better. But yeah, you cannot do this with 0.11 version. As it states on the main branch, you should use the latest neovim version. Like, do you use it for Chandra? Do you use it for like for work, or why do you need to be stable? So we will add the other here. Oops. Function auto. You can also pass a list or to group multiple queries. Loop inner, loop outer. Class out. Conditional outer, conditional. Go to either the start or the end, whichever is closer. You use if you want more granular movement. Conditional outer, conditional. Previous, next. Can make the movement repeatable. Okay. Swimway goes to the direction you're moving. Optionally make built-in FFTT also repeatable with. Yeah, there are some things that I just need to try out, I guess. Return inner outer, regex inner outer. Frame. Lock. Okay, let's add this here. And let's reorganize this part. This is class outer. This is function. There it is. So next, previous, next, class. Wait, we have class objects here, there. Previous end, previous start. Then we have here next end, previous start. This is also a move. Okay. Moves. And these are all selects. So function stuff. It was just enabled altogether when I installed the default treesitter setup, and I thought it would help in syntax or something like params and whatsoever, but it was causing lags while scrolling. So I have to disable it, and I don't even get to know the right use of it. Yeah, okay. That's sad, actually. Local scope, local. I have to test them out because I don't have them in my muscle memory for all this stuff, like this Z and stuff like this. This S scope, local scopes. Okay, restart. So I think the basic stuff should work now. There are not too many other fancy stuff that I currently want to enable. Selection mode. That is in incremental selection. Can also be a function that gets past the table of keys. Should return true or false, include surrounding white space. Include surrounding white space. False. So that's fine. Highlight. Folding. Adding custom languages. Don't need this. Modifying parsers, adding queries, so that's fine. So I think we are through with the main things that I want to achieve. Yep. Then I wanted to start with this one. So I wanted to look into OmniSharp. I already forked that and wanted to see if I can get the build server that I built into this code to get it up and running. So we have here MS Build. I think there are others. We can Cake this one for like you can have different build tools. Cake is one, MS Build is one, and I think there were a third one. Not sure, but yeah, that's basically what I wanted to do. Let's actually find this. Roslyn, this is not that OmniSharp. So I didn't had it checked out, so oops. CD here, git clone. Let's clone this. So we have an error. Because it could not find the solution. No, it could not find the SDK. But this is because we have a global JSON, I guess. Oh, it has a preview 10. Wow. Not sure if I have that already installed. Sudo dnf install .NET SDK. Right, 10. Is it 10.0? I'm not sure. Try this out. No. 10. Let's search for this. So I have only 9. When is the release of .NET 10? .NET 10 release date. Yes, it will be in November. Okay. It will be the next LTS release. Would this work with a lower version? Let's try this out. So I guess it's 8.0 something, 104 or something. It's actually my installed version. .NET SDK 8.0 19. So let's restart. Okay, now at least the BSP server starts because it can find the SDK locally. That's okay. We can just also try out if my .NET BSP implementation would work to build the solution. I think it will fail because there were some other things here which are different from the project that I used. I used to test it with like .NET Core only stuff, but here we have also Mono .NET Mono stuff. At least I thought it was there. So we will see. And then we have some errors. Unexpected token position. Okay, this... No, thanks. So it's frozen. Too much to handle. But the errors... Oh, okay, now we have... There are some here in NuGet restore targets. Target framework, inference targets. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant before. It's not only depending on Mono, but also on the full framework, which kind of is provided from Mono on Linux. But yeah, this is... I don't have Mono installed. Can we work around this? Here we have Oslo. Let's actually find the README. Is it a contribution here? Before contributing any feature, make sure to discuss it up front with the team. This can be done with GitHub. Yeah, I will just try to, if it's possible, and yeah, I don't mind if they don't want it to merge upstream, just for my personal interest. Okay. There is nothing about how to build it out here. So on Linux, because OmniSharp uses .NET Core SDK as a part of the build, not all Linux distros are supported. A good rule of thumb is to check the list. But yeah, .NET SDK should definitely work for us here. Mono 6.6.0. Upgrade is required. Each distro's derivative has its own set of instructions for installing Mono. Okay. Run build with the desired set of arguments. All build-related activities should be encapsulated in this file for cross-platform access. So I can build it with a target. The name of the build task target to execute, see below. Build JSON. Okay. I think I would just look into this build. Well, script build make cake. Chandra Mauli, good night. And thank you that you visit my stream. So hope to see you next time again. Yep. Yep. See you. Good night. The tools from Nugget. Tool restore. dotnet cake arguments. So let's try actually to use this build this, huh? Okay, tries to run mono stuff. Let's make it small. We have clean up, git version setup, validate Mongo, install .NET SDK. So like just to have this build. Don't want to change too much here on this build scripts. Actually, I would like actually to somehow to disable the mono stuff. Is it possible? Publish mono build. Don't have cake LSP. Thank you too for sharing some knowledge with me. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for joining. I like to share if I can help here, so. Are you actually developing in C# something? Or which languages do you use usually? What is the actual... This Roslyn? Oh, we can search for programs, yes. Oh, there are many of them. The mains are standard input output driver, HTTP driver. Test. Okay, this is in test projects. That's fine. Test program and stuff. Handlers. I think this is the standard input output driver. Because there are like also two versions here. The one is LSP and the other one is the previous version, which was HTTP based with their custom API, if I remember correctly. So maybe search for startup CS. This is only available there. Okay, yeah, because this one is then I guess is p.NET based or something. Configure services. Seems like it, right? Most CS middleware. mostly. Yeah, I was asking you, Shadaramoli. If you're asking me, then I don't have a proper language yet to code. I just got some help from AI and official documents, getting some hooks of JavaScript syntax, but I'm planning to learn with C. Okay. Yes, C. I'm not that experienced in C. Actually, I think I could not even start a basic CLI from scratch in C. But I previously worked on a neovim feature with, yeah, kind of neovim is written mostly in C, right? Like the core functionalities, many are written in C, maybe not the most part, but yeah. And I could modify the stuff and understand most of it. Yeah. But yeah, completely writing something in C would be hard for me. Modifying is often much easier than writing from scratch. But I also want to deepen my knowledge in C, because C seems like a great low-level language to learn. So we have two drivers here, this and the HTTP driver. So I guess these are the only two things that we can build. So, and this standard input output is the LSP server. Should be the LSP server. Then we can search for MS build part, because this part I want to provide also as .NET PSP, or kind of provide an alternative implementation for MS build here with the BSP protocol. So we have to look into this one. I think starting from the rock bottom, or we say the basic foundation of knowledge of systems to know about them. Yeah, I agree. I started with the higher level language, like C#. Back then at school, because they teach that. We didn't start with C. And I actually regret that. So it would be much better to start with a low-level language like C, or even assembly at the beginning, so you really understand how the stuff should work behind the scene, and then going up to more abstract languages. In that way, you kind of have a rock-solid foundation, basic understanding of also of memory management and stuff. It will help a lot, even like it would also help a lot if you know that and you need to program stuff like in microcontrollers or something like that. I also kind of have some projects where I need to program for the microcontrollers, some hobby projects, and you need to understand that concepts of memory management. At least it's good if you understand them. I mean, you could definitely do it without them, but yeah, without knowing it. So there we have here application LSP. This is the basic start of the language server. Input, output. If an encoding was specified, be sure to set the console with it before we access the input-output streams. Otherwise, the streams will be created with the default encoding. Okay, and then we check if this is LSP. Then we do open standard input, standard output of the console. Else, console in, console out is input and output. And then we application create environment, application zero-based configuration builder, create default service provider. It looks that ugly because it didn't manage to build it in the background, so there are many things missing. The LSP server kind of goes nuts. Because I'm using text day to day, but not knowing them from the basic foundation is just a waste of my time as a student. So I want to build my foundation from the lowest possible. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, then you have to start with assembly first, I guess. But I don't also have the knowledge of assembly language, any assembly language. But I plan to look into it when I do my hobby projects with the microcontrollers. I thought also maybe I would combine that with writing the stuff for microcontrollers in Zig or in C. I'm not sure yet which one. But this would be also a great possibility to learn more about C or Zig, or maybe even an assembly. Yeah. Let's see. I will be just like starting your school from nursery. It will be just like starting a school from nursery. What is your opinion on this? Because you are more old and experienced than me. Yeah, I think it makes absolutely sense what you said, that starting from the lowest possible will give you the most knowledge about how the stuff works really. And as I said before, I wish I would start from zero at school. So we started really like with C#, the highest language possible from the abstraction. Yeah, that's hard just afterwards to learn all the low level stuff. I think it's easier if you start the lowest and then go up. I don't like to go with trends as now people tend to follow it. I think C is just a language that will stay for a long, long time. So you cannot you cannot make a mistake with learning C. I mean, learning assembly is great for understanding, I guess, but C is really a language that if you learn it, you will benefit from it. I think so. That's why I want to learn C now too, because C is all over the place, and if you need to, if you want to understand different code bases, like for some Linux tools, most of them are written in C, and even if they rewrite some of them in Rust, there will be plenty of C code in the future, also for software which is like frequently used, not only old and like deprecated software, really, and even now many modern pieces of software are written in C if it need to be performant. Yeah, I think it has some drawbacks. But yeah. So I don't really understand what this part is, but I think the language server host is the part which is more interesting. It's in the OmniSharp language server protocol, SRC. So SRC, OmniSharp language server protocol. So here, now if we find, where do we find this part? Okay, we have in both of them MS Build, OmniSharp MS Build CS project. And cake we also have. So let's search maybe for usings. OmniSharp MS Build. Should find this part here also in CS files, right? Okay, here. No. Oops. CS, yep. Using. Test. MS Build source. Project system. Project manager, project loader, project load listener. MS Build locator. Just try to find the location where we actually decide where we use MS Build and when we use Cake implementation. Because there I would start to add the third option. I don't know why, but newer languages or hype languages don't support all the architecture or doesn't work with it smoothly like C does, and sometimes it even bricks systems. Really? Didn't hear about that. Okay, 2 a.m. now. very late, going to sleep. I will see you in the next video. Yeah, thank you for staying that long. Yeah, good night. Let's go and get some sleep. See you in the next one. Test service provider. This is for tests. Most models. Misbuild test. Misbuild test. Omnisharp host. Misbuild test. Misbuild test. Tests. There are none of them. Or Omnisharp. Standard input output. It's strange. Did I ever see this somewhere? Should be referenced there also. So it's here. Here it's included. Source Omnisharp host. Not in the other one. Tests. Most helpers. Oh, is it here? Is this shared via host helpers? So if it's mono, use thread pool, thread stuff, blah blah blah. So it's not what I thought it would be. And then we look into the language server host. Language server options. Output, configure logging, on initialize. Let's cannot jump because not built. Let's try actually find here the CS project file. The other one here, this one. And try to disable .NET 4.7.2 or whatever it was. Here, build props and targets, so we should be able to override everything from here. Packages. Targets. Would this work? Let's try this out. So property group. Then open up tab, oops, terminal, .NET build. What do I have here? Current SDK does not support targeting .NET 10. Okay, where do we have 10? We have .NET 6 here. .NET 10. Here we have test utility 10. Omnishop.NET tests 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Roslyn in tests, it's mainly 10. Does this make sense for me? Maybe switch directly to 10. Always run on the latest runtime installed. So yeah, maybe we try to get rid of the .NET version here that I have installed. Oops. .NET sudo dnf remove. So let's go to install the 10th version. The dot files. I have somewhere all the necessary stuff, I guess. Repositories. I think I have just to remove the Microsoft repository here from yum repos. Or we could do another thing. Let's reinstall. So if we need this, maybe we will do differently. I will create a new toolbox. Not like this. Toolbox, create net 10. Let's wait till it pulls everything. And then we just install in this new container, the new version of .NET. So I can use then like both versions. The 8 are from the Microsoft repositories and 10 in another toolbox. So now net 10. Okay, we don't have anything. So again, we go developer.files, toolbox, dev, and we do install. Oh, wait. Before we do this, I have to look to which .NET SDK we have in there. And also Microsoft's repository is not there. That's fine. Yeah, also okay. And let's see, SDK. Okay. So we will switch here to the 10. Okay, 10. So let's do it again. Let me properly install the right version. Let's see if the script runs through, or I have adjust some stuff. I try to have it in sync so that I can easily set up my development environment with only this script in a new toolbox. But sometimes, yeah, I forget to check in some changes or stuff changes, because previously I was on Fedora 42 and now I'm on Fedora 43, which is currently beta. Oh, I should have to pull my neovim config changes that I did before. I should have pulled them in. Now it installed the old stuff. Need to drink some water. Okay. Let's see. So that DNF search dotnet SDK. Oh, come on. Really? Is there no 10 in the Fedora 43? Fedora 43 .NET SDK 10. I was thinking this already there. No, that's a pity. Oh, that's sad. Okay, where to find the latest and greatest version now? Sources. So, but maybe I can install it still somehow. Build status, update status. Kawachi. Packages. Okay. No packages. No updates. Body. I thought it was already provided. So how to get this done? I'm out of luck here then. Should we just search at dotnet 10? Let's build cake stuff. So what if we just remove this part from here and we open up the build props. In tests we have different build props. Okay. So we just put it in here. We delete till there and we say it's 8. And hope that it does not break everywhere. Oops. So what's this? Workspace information tests. I just want to see if I can build the stuff somehow. Okay, don't care about this test. Okay. Let's try to run .NET Build again. Okay, obviously it does not work. .NET SDK does not support targeting .NET 10. Let me clean this up. So yep. Where do we have .NET 10? Oh, I forgot to save all of them. That was my mistake. Forgot to save all the changes. So now we have something with assemblies, the full framework stuff. Current version, reference assemblies for .NET framework version 4.7.2 not found. Oh, let's search for this. Unit tests. Utility tests. Readme package props. Condition. It's 472, but it should not be. Cake stuff is not used currently. That checks if .NET 472 is used. Should not be the problem here either. Tests. Base. Here we have still this set, so we can remove this part completely also. Tests. Tests. Okay. Reboot. Okay, what is not compatible with what? Net 6 0. Oops. Let's search only in CS files. I mean CS project files. Start with source. So let's try this again. You remove this part. Let's remove this also. Next. New VS test.NET test support. If 6 include object model. Not sure about this one. Let's go further here. Okay, I think we have everything. I'm not recognized. I think I have to again limit the search results here. So we search for this, but only in source, whatever it is, in CS project file. Runtime identifiers, we remove them. Output type XC. So move this, rebirth. Okay, what do we have here? Asset file object benchmark project. So it does not have a target for the. Do we have still something here? What is this for file? Targets. Bin object. Project assets JSON. Benchmark CS project benchmark. Oh, there it is. I have overseen this completely. Again, clean build. Roslyn. Cryptography stuff. Should we try to target a higher version? Maybe it works better. Target framework 8. Get an error about common compiler run core. Packages props. Do we have here on versions? And package version. Okay. Many of them are 9. So global JSON. Actually see, what do we have? .NET SD list SDK. 9 is with 109. It's 9 and it's 109. Okay, and oops. And we had this build props. Let's say to 9. Okay. Unhandled exception in interop crypto openness cell cryptography exception. Digital envelope routine. Microsoft code analysis, C# command line program main. 18 errors. Internal CL error. It was strange, the first error. Completely different one. Now I get the same with the cryptography stuff. Sign assembly. But if this even picked up by the dotnet CLI tool. So I can maybe jump to the errors directly. You try to build this with .NET BSP server. This is where it fails. In .NET SDK 8 119. Why does it use the 8 version? Version 8 there. Hmm. We have anything else? Not 10 related? Not in tests. So, oh, what I could do maybe, if I just start here the BSP server and we try to build just an input output driver project directly. Let's see what the errors it gets. So if we don't try to build the whole solution, current .NET SDK does not support targeting. Okay, this is the problem of .NET BSP server itself, because it was built against the .NET 8 SDK. I think somehow it's in the source code that it only works with .NET 8, but I have to figure it out in another day. But we can go here to the source OmniSharp standard input output driver, right, and do a .NET build here with the .NET 9 version. Get the same result. So just interrupt crypto, OpenSSL cryptographic exception. Happens here. Core compile resource input with culture. Condition is to filter out the core compile resource input so that it doesn't pass in culture resources to the compiler. What? With culture isn't true. Core compile resource inputs. To try to do this, we get this into cryptography stuff exception. Code analysis C# command line program main. Command line arc. Does this something? Does it have something to do with the signing? Reserve compilation context. I don't know this property. Is there a build property that causes .NET Core project to emit additional content to the application dependency depths file about how the app was compiled? This is primarily used to support runtime compilation scenarios. Prior to .NET 6, previous compilation content was set to true for all apps that target Razor and Web SDK. Starting with .NET 6, this property is no longer configured by default. Our packages such as Microsoft ASP.NET Core MVC Razor runtime compilation configure this property as required. Recommended action: if this feature and does not reference a package that configures the property, add the preserve compilation context property to your project file. That was compiled. Okay, and we have here, if it's not, then that it's, oh, that, and this is always true. Okay. Skip past ls forward. Nothing here. Code analysis. Portable executable sign. On compilation. Run, compile, run core. Strong name provider. PE builder. Script project provider. Right, PE to stream. PE here, serialize PE to stream. Get portable PDB stream. PE to stream. That's not actually the function what I searched for. Here there's PE to stream. Put tuple types, name type, symbol, get field to emit API should return symbols to tuple underlying fields. Wait, package, oops. Manage package versions centrally, false. Okay, this is there. Subfolder. Test project. Package version resp. Okay, this is something else. Props. Not sure if this makes any difference, but I'll change that. Because we have only one target. And it doesn't make any difference. This seems to me as it tries to sign something, and previously I saw something with signing. Solution with signed project. Sign assembly. Okay, maybe this is this. Place sign false. Sign assembly false. Why do we assign the stuff as new package? Packageable false preview link repository stuff output path. Okay, let's try again. Okay, but we have a different error. Let's clear first. Clean. And let's dotnet build. Okay, so friend access was granted by sharp, but the public key of the output assembly does not match the specified internal visible to attribute. Omnisharp public key. Okay, let's just search for this one. So this is the public key, right? Can disable this for now. Public key plus this. Just remove this part. This public key plus. We actually need only to go to that. So like this. This should already work. Shouldn't it? And assembly reference, public keys and that cannot be resolved. Is it possible just to say it's empty? Or we don't actually add anything here. Just say nothing. Let's try this. Are there more of them? Public. Internal visible to attributes. Okay. What's wrong there? The public key of the output assembly doesn't. Do we have to clean first? Nope. Still an issue. Public key token. But the public key of the output assembly does not match that specified. So I think maybe this issue here. Nope. Not the neovim anymore. Public key. Cake stuff. Tests. Let's just search for this part. Only here. Public key token. Zero-based indices. Can this be just empty? Not sure how to do this with public keys. Signing. Roslyn features. Alex. Version name. Public key token. Culture Nitro. Send the tests again. This may be only in source. Whatever it is, like CS project or CS files. Doesn't it work like this? So it should work like this. Okay. Completion provider. So everything is kind of don't see why this behaves like this. Public key. Backclass workspace service. Like stuff that is either object or binary. So source. That should work actually. Oh, I don't. They are only. Oh, there it is. Bin. An object folder. Okay, that's directly on the main. On the root of the repository. -r. Where was this? Where was this? Directory. Remove. Yep. Recursive and force. Recursive force. Binary. Now. So try this again and build. Till gets this public key token. Cake stuff, okay. Assembly resolve. This is for decompilation here. There's no need to explicitly add assembly to workspace when assembly is produced by a project reference. Doing so actually can cause code check requests to return errors like below for types in the reference project if it is, for example, signed. Okay, so there is no need to explicitly add assembly to workspace when the assembly is produced by a project reference. That's somewhere else. Friend access was granted by an action helper. I don't really get how this should work. I need to look up how this whole signing process work. Suggested binding redirects. This is also tests. Buffer manager mask files. Upper. Assembly delay sign attribute true. Like, yeah, maybe this one is also relevant. It's only here. It's in the test projects. Okay. So let's look into settings props here. Version, public key token. So what if we just disable this for a while? So may generate, auto generate binding redirects. Oh, but this is something different, I guess. I think this is the reason why it works with other .NET versions, and my .NET BSP does not work. I don't have such binding redirects. But I have to look this up. How this internally should work. Embed untracked sources. Path repository sign. Signing anymore here. Okay, but this is all tests. Okay, I will look it up in the next stream. So, thank you for joining and see you in the next one.